Felt really good to have some bodies back. Even though guys are kind of rusty, it was good to have Jalen, DeAndre, Jaden, and Landers back on the floor. Makes us more dynamic, even though they're, like they said, the rhythm isn't there, especially on the uh, Jaden and Landers, but they're definitely for
Penny, when did you know all four would be back? And if you had played in Cincinnati, would they have been ready to go then?
I knew, right before Cincinnati. Jaden was the only one that wasn't going to play, but everyone else was going to play in Cincinnati.
Penny, the first time you played these guys, you guys basically had 7. Jaden got hurt. You had almost a full roster. Was that basically just the difference this time around?
Yeah, for sure. I think that. I mean, like I said, the weapons. I feel like when we're healthy, we're the best team in this league, and that's not me biting my tongue because I should feel that way. But our roster is pretty strong. Houston has been doing some phenomenal things. So has SMU, but we haven't been at full staff. But for sure, I think that's us being almost back to 100%.
This is kind of turning into a thing. Like you get hot in late January, early February. You did it last year. Is that what we're seeing? 3 wins in a row now, and are you feeling confident with the way you guys are playing now? I mean, 88 points, 28-point win.
I think that I'm very proud of this win because UCF is one of the better teams in our league. They're not a pushover, and they made their run. But yeah, I think the previous years, everything is like the 10-game winning streak that we had. James' first year here, where he had ended up leaving the team last year. Didn't have DeAndre the first 7 games. We finally got a rhythm once conference started. Alo got hurt, and then all of a sudden the guys just kind of came together. This year, man, it should have been from the beginning, but the chemistry part, playing young guys and trying to make it all work, it's finally starting to come together. I hate that it's always happening in February, but it's better late than never.
Hey, Coach, they cut it down to a 1-point game. What was said or done to expand the lead from 1 to like 27 at the end of the game?
We just had to get stops and share the basketball. They made the run because we didn't get any stops. We were taking bad shots and didn't get any stops. So, you had to just start getting the usual suspects started to make shots. 22 and number 2 and 34 was very active on the glass. So we called a timeout and just talked about how we were going to just calm that down and what offense we needed to run to try to share the basketball and get good looks at the bucket, and we did that.
Josh might not. It's almost like we could try not to talk about him, but he makes us. He forces us to. 13 minutes tonight, 16 points. He's just very active. I mean, felt like he was a big part of the pushing away.
Yeah, Josh's energy is contagious. Early on, he was a little nervous. He told me he was a little nervous. Heavy legs in the beginning, and once he got his second win, I should say, he calmed down and went back into the game and was himself. The game has been coming to him through fast breaks, basket cuts, time to isolations when we put him at the 5. He's a mismatch against a normal 5-man, and kind of try to find creative ways to get him going. And he never disappoints. He's always out there just going to play to exhaustion and do what he needs to do for us.
With DeAndre, I know he didn't play as much down the stretch because of foul trouble, but what did he kind of bring on defense with his intensity? We could kind of hear him kind of talking trash on the media bench.
Yeah, he brings that toughness. He brings that experience and that toughness because he is also a matchup problem at the 5 and at the 4. And we tried to get him going, but he got into foul trouble. But he talks. He's like Chandler. Both of those guys are like the guys on the floor that are going to be vocal. They're going to be the big brothers out there taking up for the rest of the guys and they give their confidence. He gives that confidence to the rest of the team.
Penny, you played 11 guys, but it seemed like you played a bunch early, and then was the strategy, let's see who's got it, and we'll ride with those guys as the game wears on. I guess with this many guys for the first time in a while, what was your kind of philosophy and how to deploy all of them?
Yeah, that's what it was. Basically, in the beginning, I subbed 5. The first time I subbed, I let the starters play for a while, and then I subbed to 5, and that didn't go well. So the second half, I just went with the guys that I knew that were veterans that are kind of used to playing, and then kind of sub the other guys in there after that, and it just worked out. And the way that the minutes were beautiful for us because we got a chance to get Landers 22 minutes, got DeAndre 17 minutes, Jaden got 11 minutes, so they got enough minutes to kind of get a rhythm.
And then Amani obviously wasn't here. What is the update on his status moving forward?
He comes back tomorrow, and we're off tomorrow, obviously, and he'll get back into the fold. You know, we'll see what happens with his back and how much he can, you know, he can do. But whenever he's ready, we'll be ready for him.
Hey, Penny, some of you guys have been off a month, so they're not going to be ready just right now. How long do you expect for everybody to be back in tip-top shape and in full form?
I think at least a couple games. These off days have been helping us with conditioning, but nothing is like the game, as you know. So I think after these 2 games, I think they'll have a rhythm with all the games we have in between to practice. Those 2 games will be enough for them to kind of be back and have a rhythm. I think it takes about 2, maybe 3.
How did the did Amani come to you and say, I would like to go see somebody not here about my back? Like, how did that whole scenario play out?
Yeah, his back has been hurting for a while, and he just said, you know, we don't travel to guys that aren't playing. So when we were going to Cincinnati, instead of him staying here, he was going to use that time because he wasn't going to be able to play. We don't travel to guys on the road anymore. So he was going to use that time to go to Cincinnati and then come back. Go to Michigan while we were in Cincinnati, and obviously the game got canceled. And that's what happened.
Penny, there was after one game, maybe the first game in UCF, you said you thought the main thing you guys just need to do to improve was just to get healthy. Now that you're healthy, I guess what's your confidence level that you guys can get on the run you need to get to the goals you guys had at the beginning of the season?
I just felt like, you know, if we would have had a healthy roster, that we'd be in a better shape than we are right now. And obviously we have the most talented. Houston plays extremely hard. They're the big dogs right now. But for me, my confidence is really high because I know we have matchup problems when we have the entire crew. We're long. We have a lot of guys that we can play at multiple positions, and we can kind of create matchup problems for other teams and play out of it. And if our shooters are on, then we'll be pretty tough. And I'm looking forward to that for the next couple weeks.
Do we have anything else for Coach tonight? Greg, go ahead.
Penny, obviously every game's pivotal, but this game coming up on Wednesday against Tulane, to set the tone for that huge road trip you have coming up, how important is that going to be?
Very important. They seem to have gained so much confidence from beating us there, the first conference game, that they went to Cincinnati and won that game. They've been playing pretty good basketball, and I watched them at Houston last week. Houston just kind of overwhelmed them with their energy and their physicality, but they were in the game at the end, so their confidence is really high. So for us to not lose another home game is very important. To win that game before you go on the road, you know, is of importance as well. But, you know, you want to take care of business at home, and you want to keep getting better every game and getting prepared for the AAC tournament.
Terry, real quick, just one more. Yeah, go ahead.
Is it a done deal? No more games going to be added for the end of the year? It is what it is?
I don't know about that. Right now, I can say that we're trying, but I don't know. Maybe we can get another one. But if we missed the Cincinnati game, so now that's in February, so it's getting a little sketchier.